Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So for today, I want to share with you all the top 10 palettes that I was like this close to buying last year, but I skipped for one reason or another. So these are the top 10 palettes that are on my wish list. They are living rent-free in my head. So if you want to talk about some eyeshadow palettes, here are all the palettes that are on my wish list. Hopefully I can pick them up at some point. Then please stick around for today's video and make sure you are subscribed before leaving today. I love videos like this. I love hearing what everyone's loving, what their wish list is, things like that, because let's be real, we can't buy it all. Indie brands are getting, their prices are just skyrocketing. Like they need to quit. Like, we're good. If anything, lower the freaking price. And I have a list. And I'm going to go over with some of the palettes that I missed last year, but I feel like at one point, don't be surprised if they end up in my collection. This is no rhyme or reason as far as the order. I'm just going to dive into the first palette that I can't stop thinking about. This one is the recently de-influenced palette from Bella Beaute Bar. I mean, come on. This color story, initially I was like, oh, that's a little bit out of my comfort zone. I think it's beautiful, but I can love it from afar. And then it got to a point where all the looks that I saw with that palette were absolutely beautiful every single time. And then it got to a point where I would see a look and I immediately knew what palette the creator was using. So it has officially risen to the top of my wish list, and if they ever do a site-wide sale and I have the money, I'm definitely going to snag that palette up. Typically when they run sales, it's like on a palette or something like that. It's not like a site-wide, but if that palette goes on sale, I might snag it, or if I'm feeling weak, I just might get it because it's seriously living rent-free constantly. Okay, now let's talk about a surprise palette that just really, I didn't think I would ever want it. This is Winter Wonderland from Cosmic Brushes. I saw the palette, I was like, that is beautiful, perfect for winter. Just, I love the name. I actually thought about that name a few years ago. I was like, wow, I wonder why no one has created a palette name with a color story, you know? Anyways, whenever I saw the color story, I was like, okay, that is beautiful. And I was like, it's blue. I don't wear blues. I don't need it. Well, I kind of wear blues more than I used to. But it's not just a blue palette. You have some greens, some teals, some purples, obviously blues. And I'm drawn to it. They popped in a red multi-chrome, like a red shifting peachy blue shade, and I'm like, I think you sold me. So maybe I need that palette for science because I need to see that multi-chrome on my eyes now. So that's one where I think they're going to restock it in March. Maybe, don't quote me on that. But you could probably for sure anticipate seeing that in my collection in the near or possibly far future. Let's see. Ooh, this one right here. This is the Serpent palette from Micka Beauty Shop. I've always seen this brand, but I've never tried it. And then they sent me their Earth Wizards palette, and I was like, okay, they're not playing when it comes to shimmer. So the Serpent palette, it is just a grungy dream. I love those type of shades. I think that they look beautiful. I can just see so many different color combos. So I don't know. I can't remember the price of it, but I think they're going to do a pre-order sometime in January, and that's one where if I have some extra money, I might pick it up because I have not been able to stop thinking about that palette ever since it was teased and launched. It just looks so pretty. I need it. I don't need it, but I want it. Okay, next, this is the Heaven and Earth palette from Sydney Grace. Okay. This one right here, kind of like the blue situation. I have been wearing more blues, and that palette, you have some neutrals and greens and the blues. I love the packaging, the sea turtles. Okay, I'm not going to buy it just for the packaging, but I would be lying if I sat here and said that was not like a key factor. I love it and I kind of want it. And Sydney Grace, they do sales often and I love their formula. It's just like 10 out of 10 every time. So I don't know. I need it, but I don't need it, but I want it. Common theme. Anyways, if it wasn't for the turtle on the front of the package. Okay, next. Oh, this one right here. This is the Deep Sea Treasures from Cleona Cosmetics. They have been running sales, and I keep almost buying this palette. It is a palette with just full of shimmers. Obviously, I love the ocean, but I love the theming. I love the shimmers. They look so beautiful. Okay, so on Black Friday, I almost bought that palette, and I was like, wait. I kind of want to make my own custom color story, and I got this empty palette from Viseart, and then I filled it with these shades from Cleonahd. And their formula is so pretty, and now I really want that palette, but that's a palette that at one point I do hope to have in my collection, but I'm not in any rush. But man, oh man, is it beautiful. And I've been thinking about it ever since they launched it. Okay, so number 6, this is the Rogue palette from a Fantasy Cosmetica. I have every one of their palettes except for this one. So like that factor, I feel like I need to collect it and get it. They've been running sales like crazy. I haven't been able to purchase it yet, but that's one where it's for sure going to be in my collection at one point or at some point. Also, the Lost Library Empty Magnetic Pan palette. Oh, I need that one. So that's going to be one where I'm going to have to haul it because I love their lipsticks. I want to pick up the green one. I'm going to do like a whole Fantasy Cosmetica haul, but I do want the Rogue. I've been saying, I haven't been wearing blues, but I'm leaning more towards them now. And that palette looks absolutely beautiful. The shimmers are amazing from the brand, so I must pick up that palette to complete my collection, and out of curiosity, and also I just think that it's really pretty, and I love the mix of pastels, and it's like blue, grungy, green, pastel-y, and I need it. Let's see, number 7, this one is the Resurrection palette from Wicked Widow Beauty. This is a rainbow palette. Do I have any rainbow palettes like Roy G. Biv? I don't think so. So like I need one, right? This one, it's like a rainbow or a grungy rainbow palette. I think the packaging is beautiful. The theming, it's just, I don't know, there's something about it that I'm drawn to as far as that aspect. But then the color story, I have seen kind of like the recently de-influenced, like the Bella Beaute Bar palette. The looks that have come from the Resurrection palette and that palette, they are so beautiful. So not necessarily like the picture of the palette like all laid out like the color story, but the looks that have been created from it, I'm like, dang, I think I want it. So it may not be one that I reach for all the time, but I would love to have that in my collection. I'm not like limiting my collection. If I see a palette and I would like it, I'm not mad about adding it if I get it on sale. You know what I mean? So that's one where if the brand was like, hey, we're doing a sale, I'll be like, okay, add to cart. Because I don't need it, but I want it. I think it's beautiful. I wouldn't mind having it in my collection and challenging myself to create some more colorful looks. So next, this one is Sickly Sleep from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I have been really loving pastels, and this is a pastel palette, but with a twist. I love the deeper shades in that palette. I love the packaging with like the cotton candy, like the skeleton, or like the skull. There's something about the packaging that I must have, but also the color story. I don't know. I think that it's such a cute theme. I was excited. At first, I was kind of taken back when they launched that one on Halloween, but then the more I thought about it, I kind of love it, and I think I might end up with it one day in my collection. Let's see. We have 2 left, and these next 2 are from Unearthly Cosmetics. The one that I want to mention right now, this is Fall Magic. So I just bought 3 palettes from Unearthly. The Sorceress, Don't Be Jelly. Why can I not think? Oh, Devour. Oh my gosh, those palettes look so beautiful. So I added those. I got them on sale for 50% off. I typically like to buy them when they're on sale because Unearthly does amazing sales. So why buy it full price when I could get it for half price? You know what I mean? So those are already on their way to me, but I couldn't get Fall Magic. I need Fall Magic, but their shipping was $17. I know that may not seem like a lot because sometimes like indie shipping can be outrageous if it's international, but for me, normally I spend like $8 on shipping for like Unearthly. $17. I wasn't able to add Fall Magic on top of that, but Fall Magic is one where when they run another sale, I might have to get it. And then the last palette from Unearthly, and the last palette that I'll be mentioning today, it is the Dreamer palette. I love me some cool tones, and that palette, I love the packaging. I think it's so beautiful. I love the artwork and the color story. It is not neutral. It's cool tone, wearable, but like fun. It's neutrals, cool tones with a twist, and I want it. So those are the top 10 palettes. I'm sure as soon as I'm done filming this, I'm going to remember another palette. There's so many, but these are the ones that I've been thinking about and I can't stop, So please let me know down below some of your palettes that have been living rent-free in your head that are on your wish list for one reason or another. You weren't able to buy them, or you skipped on them. Maybe you shopped your stash and you're like, I'm just going to save my money. But you wouldn't mind having them in your collection because let's be real, we cannot buy it all, and it's not like a race. Whenever a palette launches, you don't have to have it. I know for like review purposes that's helpful, but like I don't live that lifestyle. Like, I can't, I just can't buy $80 palettes all the time, or 60, 70. Like, indie brands are expensive, so it's not a race. Buy palettes at your own pace. Buy them on sale, because it's inevitable that palettes are going to go on sale. So that's just kind of like what I have to do. If I want a palette, I will buy it at launch for kind of like review purposes. But if it's a palette I want, but I need to wait for a sale, I will get it on sale or try to dupe it out in my collection. But I would love to hear all the palettes that you have been thinking about that you passed on last year, because like I said, it's not a race. You can buy any time, and that's the beauty of it. But that's going to do it for today's video. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.